I'm fine. Thanks for having us.
I
Thanks
really
for all your
appreciate.
nice reaction videos.
I love all of them. My brother, I showed him Norwegian reggaeton, and us being like hardcore metalheads, we were just fucking dying the whole time. It was absolutely. As a matter of fact, I actually want to start with that. I want to start with the fact that was my introduction to you guys. It was Norwegian reggaeton, which I got to be honest with you guys, is to date my favorite song. I absolutely love
I know.
it. You see
I've
that,
seen
right?
your reactions. You were like, "Oh, this is cool," but it's not as cool as Norwegian reggaeton for every other song that you reacted to. So,
For me, you know what it was? I think it's all the black metal references that I felt a lot of people missed. And I was just like, are they just burning the picture of Varg? And I couldn't hold it. I just like, yes, this is amazing. And you take out Daddy Yankee from there. I'm just like, this is
Yes.
so curated for a hardcore metalhead. I couldn't stop. Like I keep replaying. I should replay it a couple of times today as well. What I wanted to say is, I feel like a lot of your music is just elevated by music videos. Would you agree with that?
it's complemented. I
Compliment.
think it's it's like it's giving a dimension more. So it's probably it's elevated in the sense that you're heading more to the music than what you would expect. But usually it's two different things. I don't think we ever think of. I mean, sometimes we would like to do that, but we never think of songs like with a video in our minds.
In your mind.
Usually it's like, oh, we want to do something funny, and then okay, let's find some video that like builds on this funny concept. We already made the song out.
That's actually really cool because there's so many Easter eggs in every single video that you've made. It's kind of crazy that you think of it afterwards. For me, it's almost felt like one united thing, like a movie almost.
Yeah, but that's because we work with very good movie makers.
But we also put Easter eggs also in songs, so you can find always, you can read our music in different levels, because we put something, we like to hide something also in music and in video, of course.
That's 100%, because the more you listen to it, it's impossible to catch everything at once.
No, it's a multi-level song every time.
It's like even with Valhallelujah, I'm like sitting there, I'm like, are they calling it IKEA furniture? It's like but I didn't fully realize all the other things that you put in there. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is really layered comedy. I'm really enjoying this. Because I think there's nothing better than like just a really good laugh, whether it's a stand-up comedian or a movie or and the way you guys kind of done it. I've checked out a bunch of different comedy bands like Tenacious D. It's great. Steel Panther.
Yes, super. Yes.
I always felt like you guys, along with those bands, that the reason why you're like on the top tier, for me personally, you're on the top tier, is that no matter how good your music, no matter how good your lyrics are, if the music isn't good to accommodate it can be very forgetful. And the music is great. It's in combination with everything.
Thank you. We try always to do our best.
Do you guys have like a favorite music video that you guys made, like that was especially proud of?
I don't know.
For me is and then I noticed that she was a gargoyle. That's my favorite video.
That's your favorite video?
You were asking about a Nanowar of Steel videos, no?
Yes.
Okay, so gargoyle. Yeah.
I don't know. I love them all because for me, a song first and then a music video is like a child. So it's your son. So you cannot say which song you prefer, this or the other one. No, I love everything we make. I love everything. So I don't have one favorite.
I don't have one favorite. Where do you even start the writing process to come up with some of these ideas, to be honest? Like the Valhallelujah, there's just such kind of bonkers ideas. Where do you guys get like the creative juices to write something like that?
About Valhallelujah, I guess that there were different thoughts, since I remember I was on a bus stop, and I sent a vocal message to the band about should we make a song about Vikings and Christmas together? But then the crazy part came after, when the other guys were into this IKEA shit, and that wasn't I was thinking about, but that went great. And so, okay, that's more funnier than ever. And maybe most of our songs, if not each of our songs, are built in this way.
It depends.
We finished 1 week ago a song which I cannot name. Since
No
it will be,
you gotta leave it a surprise
next. Yeah. And we had only the title, and maybe for a whole year, no, 2 years, we just had nothing to do with this title, which was funny, very funny, but we didn't have any material about it. And in the last weeks, it grew up, it came to life, and it's good, very good, and very crazy.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to add something about this, because this is very it's very emblematic. It's like a symbol of the way things work. Like usually some of us comes up with some funny title or some funny idea, and then we start building things on top of it. And, you know, like have a funny joke that I at least have a funny concept I want to express through music. And then each one of us adds like his take on this thing. Like you see something like, for example, with the Vikings and Hallelujah.
Yes.
Like the whole thing started, let's make gospel and metal and Vikings. That was the idea, I remember, of Carlo, like back then. And then we came up eventually like adding idea stuff like, oh, but when I think about Sweden and Vikings, I think also about IKEA. So that was the idea. Same thing with this new song. We had this title, and then we didn't I mean, this was one song I wasn't really sure we could make it like for the recording process of the new album, because it was really hard to find a concept. Like we spent so much time in finding concepts, like in defining what should the song, what, you know, like maybe notice that it's something that you commented already. There's like very few space for randomness there. There must be some really layered concept, and things really must fit together. So to make something like this, it's a hard work first to find actually a concept that works in a song, and then developing it. But usually it's like once we get the ball rolling, then it's just, you know, things come out.
Yeah. You get an idea basically, and you don't rush it. You really let it work and develop and come up until it's really just perfect to be released. Because I think in a 5-minute window of a song, you have a lot of work to do to make sure that it's funny, but it's also a good song, right? It has all the elements of what Nanowar Steel is.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I used to say that we are like Power Rangers. We work together, and when we work together, we can do Megazord.
Unfortunately, I came from Soviet Russia, and I came too old, so I never got a chance to check out Power Rangers.
Oh,
yeah. We were able to get our hands on like something like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger movies and all these kinds of things, but a lot of things were so late for us because 91 was when the Soviet era ended, so I kind of were secluded from everything.
So you had No Pagodi and Chiburashka or something. I forgot the name.
No Pagodi, it's like the Russian Tom and Jerry, basically.
Yes.
With more alcohol and cigarettes.
Okay. I've watched that too when I was learning Russian. So.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that you speak multiple languages, right?
I do, yes. Well, no. We speak Farsi like with Ascanio. We have this song that is basically it's Farsi Italian. We did a cover of it's actually a cover of a cover. There's a very popular Farsi song in here. I don't know if you follow the story, and then it's a nice thing now that we're talking about this. But there was this Farsi song. It's called Paria, and they made an Italian version of it because basically every word, every Farsi word had an Italian. It could sound like an Italian word as well. So like the whole song could be understood in Italian with misheard lyrics, so to say. So like every word sounded like some Italian word. So they made basically Italian version of the same. It sounds exactly the same. Well, not exactly, but it's very close to.
Yeah,
but except it's in Italian. It's hilarious. And we made a version of this song. There's like I would say now it's a traditional Italian song. But anyway, so it's very important to speak Farsi, even if it's an old version.
I would like to actually learn someday. It would be really nice.
Okay.
And what I was going to say with you guys did a lot of really fun collaborations. Like Michael Starr. Like I said, I love Steel Panther. When I heard Death to All But Metal, they kind of got me from that song and Community Property. With like Glory Hammer. My favorite, Gigatron, was from reggaeton, Norwegian reggaeton. I thought he was really funny with the horns and everything. Did you have a favorite collaboration that you guys just were like, wow, that came out better than we thought?
I mean, I would say with Charlie, with Norwegian reggaeton, not just because of the collaboration, but because it was very hard to, like now, like the background of that video, it's unbelievable in a way because it was shot, I think, maybe just 1 month after and then I noticed that she was a gargoyle video. It was very, very like packed together. So there was a very tight schedule of organizing everything. And Charlie had some issues like in traveling from Spain to Italy. And we basically didn't know whether he could make it like until 1 week before like the shooting. So we seriously had no idea. And then he came up, he showed up. It was such a nice mood on the filming scene. And he brought a lot of ideas for the song as well. Like he brought some ideas for the Spanish lyrics, for the video, for everything, like the way he moves. So that was sort of unexpected because actually, really, we didn't know if we could make it. If he was enthusiastic of joining the video, but he didn't know. Simply he had like some family issues, and so and then the whole video was shot in I think 2 days, no more. It was very, very packed. There were many people, all the dancers. Then we had to organize like the dancing scenes. We had to do some choreography and work on that. So. And we had to like manage also Charlie and his family in the meanwhile. So it was a mess.
I got a little bit of assistance. My wife is Colombian, so she helped me translate all the Spanish parts so I could get every single joke.
Okay.
That happened afterwards. And the whole time I'm showing her the music video and she's laughing the whole time. I'm like, what? It's like, it's what they're saying. I'm like, translate. What are you sitting there for? Translate. Let's go. That was great. And I obviously with the name Nanowar Steel, you guys have to be Nanowar fans, right?
Well,
we used to.
Exactly.
Used to be. But you know what it is? Honestly speaking, I felt, maybe you guys don't feel this way, but I'm going to say something about Nanowar. I felt like they were a comedy band, not on purpose in themselves, because they thought they were like from fucking Eternia or something. They thought they were on a different planet. Every time I've seen them, there's like a lot of unintentional humor with that band. Do you feel that same way too?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why we started, because I think it was like I couldn't believe no one was making fun of Manowar and Manowar taking themselves seriously.
Oh my
God! That happened right after I went to, I think, my first Manowar show, and I was a young metalhead. I believed in true metal. We have to behave like true metalheads. At some point, I say, well, wait, but that doesn't really make much sense, right? Then I thought, why is Manowar really dressing up that way, and why is no one making fun of them? Someone should definitely do that.
I've had my moments where I've actually left on concerts because of that.
But we have a lot of respect for them because they made something unique in metal, but things change.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I know what you're talking about. And it's there's like a lot of unintentional humor for me as well. Sometimes I go to concerts to see a death metal band, and between songs you want to hear a human being. You just want to hear somebody that's regular, that's normal, and they keep their fucking death growls going. It's like, dude, you can stop now. It's okay. You don't need to be so serious. Especially black metalheads, they tend to sometimes just take themselves way too seriously. And that's something I love about you guys. You don't. And especially in the heavy metal bands, like, everybody's got to be got to be like this and serious and all ultra. I like that you're completely the opposite, and it looks like the fans just totally embrace that as well.
No, we are dead serious.
Dead serious
Really
about not being serious.
Yes, yes, exactly.
But I
That's
guess
very-
we couldn't. Seriously, it couldn't be any other way. Like, at least if you put the five of us together, there's no way we can have a serious metal band or like do anything serious. It's like taking ourselves seriously when we're all together. It's very, very hard on the music side, of course.
Well, you know what it is. You guys take yourselves, like I said, completely seriously from the music side. Especially, I was listening to Italian folk metal, and I was like, "Holy shit! This is like power metal, like Italian folk power metal going on full force." It's like I got used to seeing the other songs that were leaned very heavy on comedy and still had like very addictive songs, but this was just like a full-on, and especially I don't speak Italian. It felt to me like a full-on power metal record, which is really cool. That you didn't have these restrictions. You just kind of like do whatever you want and you feel free.
That's the essence of the band. Like that's nice thing about being in Nanowar series. It's not like, oh, we cannot sing about this topic, or we cannot do a pop song, or we cannot do a techno. We can do everything. It's like we seriously have no boundaries. Like when we think about stuff, or like on both on lyric side and on the musical side.
And you also have a very deep-rooted knowledge of metal from all the songs that I've seen, as well as when you make references to Uranus and all the things, and then you bring in as Hallelujah, and you really do good research. It seems like.
But you see, but when you're making comedy, when you do comedy, you have to be informed. You have to know what are you talking about. You have to know what are you playing, musically speaking, about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the point of making a good comedy show, a good comedy act, a good comedy song. And mostly the musical versatility you pointed out is based on the fact that we are a comedy band. So if you have to do to make a joke about a certain topic, you have to be sure to have the right musical genre to sing about the topic, and that's a synergy between these two factors.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Yeah, that you have to, everything has to come together smoothly. As a matter of fact, if I wanted to actually ask something about comedy, and I always looked at bands like you guys, like the ones I mentioned, Tenacious D, everything. I feel like comedy in general is one of the hardest genres to tackle, personally speaking, whether it's movies, stand-up, or even in the case of music. What's funny to one person, another person might not find funny at all. And especially in songs like Hallelujah, people might not get the references of IKEA, and they'll miss out on half of the song because they just don't understand the reference. And for me, like the question was, do you ever have the fear of like, we might lose people in this particular joke? Should we do it for too long? Should we go somewhere else? Or you just lean in full force and just do exactly what you want to do and just hope for the best?
The second thing that you said.
Yes,
We stick with the plan and we go straight.
You're talking with a band who made a whole Italian comedy metal album. So what's the strategic point on that? That's none. So that was the best we choose to do, but not the the most effective one in a popular way. So
it's the way of the artist. If we feel to do something, I don't want to say we don't care about the audience, but we must be confident of what we want to say. And if we all agree of what we we are going to say, we go straight, and that's the point.
Almost like you don't want to be held in a box of what the audience almost expects of you. So this way you could be always outside of the box and going to places the audience might not even expect you to go.
We cannot think about what people expect because we don't even know what we are expecting from us. So
I love it.
If we followed what people expect, we would be Nanowar.
Yes.
I would love, first, Ironmonger was great, but I would love to see you guys in Nanowar outfits with those little underwears that they had and swords. That would be amazing.
We have ideas about that, but
give us time.
Anyway, it's something I cannot say in public about. These are interesting backgrounds, but no, just said something about what you said before. I guess the only thing that is limits us sometimes. It's like maybe the boundaries of political correctness and things you really don't want to say, because then otherwise people might, you might get some shitstorm. We always try to be. I mean, at first maybe you notice that because you're a Steel Panther fan and you like all these other bands. But something we like not to do is like using a lot of profanity and swear words in our songs. Like that, this is something. It's a choice. It's not because we don't want to, there's no strategy there. Like we try to swear as few as possible, just because I think the songs, you can listen to the song twice or three times. Whereas sometimes maybe if there are too many swear words, the irony is like more one of a kind, like something you can use once or. But then, so some other times we have ideas about things and topics we might want to touch upon in our songs, and we just say, okay, maybe this should be left out, not just be, like our fans. I think that people that follow us would understand it, and they know we don't mean anything bad. But so like sometimes things that make you laugh, they're not something that you can say in public. But and this is the only limit that we put to ourselves.
It's a very fine art. There's a comedian, Bill Burr, in the United States.
Oh yeah, sure.
So he's very good at just going right to that edge where it just becomes the whole audience goes against them, and then just pulling back a little bit. Yeah. And I feel like it's such an art to get that moment. I understand what you say about political correctness, because you have to know at the same time, like your fans might get it. Then one person sees it out of context and blows it the fuck up, and then it becomes this big thing that it wasn't. And it becomes very difficult. And I think your humor, in honesty, is too clever for a lot of profanity. It's very clever humor that you almost like Mel Brooks comedies. You have to sit down and kind of look through, rather than, and I'm not putting Steel Panther down anyway, where it's more profane humor. It's just two different styles of comedy. And I really like both approaches in their own kind of way.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, Steel Panther has very clever lyrics also. Like they use a lot of profanity, but the lyrics and the concept are very, very funny. As you said, community property, or that they have a lot of very, very funny ideas. So that's like the way they put like they use their profanity. It works for the song in a way. It's like meant. It's in context, but I think that sometimes I don't know, maybe I'm talking. I'm thinking about Italian bands more, but usually there's like this, like swearing a lot, and it automatically makes the song funny. There's this very childish idea, I would say. And so this is something we want to refrain. Though it's something we might have done at the start of the band, that were to do very simple lyrics and maybe with more profanity in it. But yeah.
Like I kind of mentioned this before, that the Italian folk metal kind of, to me, almost felt, again, I haven't had a chance to check out the whole discography from you guys. And a lot of it just because I wanted to leave as a surprise when I do a reaction. So it's a genuine reaction whenever I see something. But I get a sense of feeling that this album has a lot of, like, even when I heard harsh vocals and like more traditional kind of metal roots, and perhaps it's because I don't understand the language. What I want to ask is, is there kind of a specific direction that you guys have with this album, and perhaps something that you're going to go with the next album? Like, did you want it to make, because I honestly don't know Italian folk metal, if it is, I'm sure it has the comedy of what you guys are kind of known for, but it seems to be a more traditional kind of an album. Is it wrong to assume that?
It's traditional. since we played metal versions of Italian folk classics, better, not covers, but many of the songs in the album are in the inside a specific kind of genre of folk, Italian folk.
Yeah.
So you have a mazurka, so you have a pizzica, so you have a ditemene un'altra.
Neomelodic.
Neomelodico.
Yeah, neomelodic, and so it's classical. It's not so classic metal, and so I don't know how to answer to that question.
It's mixed with other heavy metal with the traditional Italian folk music. So it's it was a dangerous experiment. And so it works.
I think it worked 100%. It's really good. It's nice to see just kind of I keep discovering you guys. I keep discovering because with each song I'm getting a more of an understanding what you're all about. And it's like I'm learning more and more what you're all about.
Okay. But the point is, obviously, Italian folk metal, it's an album made for Italians. So what we are going to do in our next album is something focused for everybody else. I mean, Italians, all the world. So it's an international album, and you're gonna get all the reference in heavy metal in everything else.
Lyrics.
That one, the Italian folk metal, was a specific album. So once we have done something in Italian, we can unleash our international music and comedy.
Do you guys feel at all like that this kind of reaction wave to your music really helped the band as well? Or like, has that a positive effect for you guys? Do you guys enjoy watching?
I mean, like the first I mean, we had a lot of reaction videos, but there was one reaction video we got when Norwegian Reggaeton was out. And it's like from the biggest Spanish YouTuber. And the guy, like, he had, I think this reaction video has something like 2 million views in 2 weeks or something. So he had more views than the video itself at some point. Like, and so of course it brought a massive influx of viewing on our videos, and that was something very cool. But in general, like we interact a lot with the reactors. Like last year we started doing this Nanowar React series. We had our own reaction videos to any kind of like to stupid videos or whatever. So now we stopped it. We sort of we are sort of lazy, and we had to work on our videos. Then we have like jobs and lots of other things to do. So we don't really have time for that. But something we interacted with a lot of reactors in the scenes. Like we got in contact. We did interviews. Like we did streamings together. It's fun. It's good. Like when you add something to it, see that you also see like the video from another point of view. See, you discover stuff that you didn't think of. Like I can make an example about Hallelujah. I think it was Tank Detect that made a very nice reaction video about the song. And at some point he said, "Oh, but this is like the first part where Odin is aggressive and he's killing everyone. Then he turns into a nice god, like with the IKEA stuff. He makes furniture. It's like the Old Testament, where you have like the Old Testament god, which is aggressive, and you know,
you
have the new, and there's this parallel that I didn't think about that. At least I don't know if it was conscious or not, but that struck me. It says, look, this makes sense. It's cool, but we didn't think about this. It's like it's true. It's another layer. So.
It's like my brother's an artist. He always makes this point that whenever the pen leaves the paper, it's free to be interpreted by people the way they want, and they will find things that you never even thought of yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how our art should be.
Well, I absolutely, I'm still discovering a lot of the songs. I think I might have done like 6 or 7 at this point. And I'm always excited to do a new one from you guys. Like I said, I'm going to be looking out for the Nanowar one 100% at some point in time. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to also kind of leave the last word to you guys. If there's anything you would like to say, because for me, this was like really fun. And just to get to see you guys exactly the way you are in music videos and the way I would picture you guys to be are exactly the way you guys are in real life. But I also wanted to leave the last kind of word for you guys. If there's anything you would want to say to any of the fans or anything of the sort.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait for
Yes.
us.
Are you guys going to be doing any tours?
Yes.
Perfect. I love it.
Not in the US.
Not in the US?
But no, we got a bunch of European shows planned for the summer. Then we got some, maybe in the spring we'll be out for a couple of more shows in Italy. And yeah, then we are working on 2 tours that are related and also unrelated to the new album, but that's not something I can announce because it's still work in progress.
In the work in progress.
So I don't want to give false hopes to our millions of billions of millions of fans out there. And say, look, they're coming to this country, and people will be starting buying the tickets already.
It's okay. I'm used to disappointment when it comes to New York.
Oh, I don't think we're coming to New York anytime soon, so don't worry about it.
All the best guys, like the ones you want to see, it's very hard for them to come out to the United States because it has to make sense. And a lot of times it just doesn't make any sense. And we're like, we're left with like, okay, so I guess I'm going to see Megadeth for the 10th time. That's cool. That's especially in New York. There's no festivals. There's nothing like that. So we just get whatever we can in the small venues, and anything like Madison Square Garden, which is a big venue. Who's going to be Slayer? It's going to be Black Sabbath, the ones the knowns. But I would never get to see like somebody like you guys or other death metal, power metal, like all that stuff. We never get to see that. So it's like I said,
you mean all the shitty stuff? We don't manage to see that. We only get the like the big names.
Well, you know what it is. I don't know how big Megadeth is anymore. I stopped with Megadeth maybe a decade ago.
Okay.
I'd much rather see you guys on the concert.
Thank you.
My friends, thank you so much for doing the interview. I really appreciate it.
Thanks to you.
Guys, you take care.
Take care. Bye. See you in the future.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.